Kyle Casada here, co-founder of John Galt Insurance. Have the privilege today to invite our CEO, Pete Poggi, to join me.
Thanks, buddy.
And,
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. For me, this is something that I've been with you for 15 plus years, and we built something pretty special, but I wanted to invite you today to kind of talk about our journey, what we've gone through over the last decade and a half together.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and just kind of go from there. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from here.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. As you know, my name is Pete Poggi, and I'm CEO of John Galt Insurance. The reason I'm so excited to join Kyle in this podcast today is because we wanted to touch on a very important topic: is people, or younger people, I should say,
Yes.
Either in college or just starting college and maybe don't know what they want to do or what their major is, right? And we think insurance is such a best kept secret because no one goes to school for insurance, right?
Right.
However, it's one of the most lucrative and rewarding careers you can have. Example, when you started with me, how old were you?
I was 24.
24 years old. What did you know about insurance?
Absolutely nothing. I couldn't even spell insurance.
Exactly, right? You were a very good student with me, though. So, over the last 15 years, or even when you started, tell me, since you didn't know anything about insurance,
Right.
did you learn anything in college about insurance?
Never.
Did you actually finish college?
I did not. I made it 2.5 years and dropped out.
Me too. I didn't finish either. CEO of a $100 million company didn't finish college. That's why we're telling you this message, because it's so important. Honestly, I think college is a waste of time, and it's the old way of thinking.
Right.
So you came out 2.5 years out of school, joined me, didn't know anything about insurance.
Correct.
How did you learn it?
Well, luckily for me, I always tell people, I had the privilege to be mentored by you personally from someone that had already built successful agencies prior. And really it was an environment of being able to ask questions and get the answers directly from a source that was doing it with me by my side in the trenches on a day-to-day. And it just created that atmosphere where I wasn't afraid to ask the questions, and I could trust the answer because you were there by my side doing it day to day.
And he asked a lot of questions, bro, believe me. But that's okay. Yeah. Questions are good. We'd rather have you engaged than not following us at all, right?
Absolutely.
So what would you say for a young person coming out of school that's maybe afraid to take the leap, or why insurance? What would you say to them to make them want to do it or feel more comfortable doing it?
I would say, insurance, and this is something that we talk about a lot, is, it's a get rich slow type of industry, right? This is an industry that's going to reward you for time.
Agreed.
I had a small stint, as you know, doing mortgages. Made a lot of money for about 1.5 years, and then 2008, 2009 hit. Right. Broke as a broke as a saying. Broke as a, I don't know.
It's okay.
Super broke, right? Struggled a lot.
So maybe you went to school, you don't know that word.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Good thing I don't even know it's insurance. But no, I was broke as a joke, and chased that dream for about 1.5 years too long. And funny story that people don't even realize is I was chasing that dream, and my wife's the one that actually put my resume out. I didn't even know I was in the job market when you had reached out to me. But it's something that 3, 4, 5 years within this industry, within our system, because of the residual income, because every policy that you sell pays you over time. Right. You create a constant stream of revenue that pays you year over year for doing the same amount of work that we had to do year one. So it's funny because my 5th, 6th, 7th year, I find myself almost doing less work than what it was year one because of the learning curve and the carriers, but you're making 4 or 5 times more because you're getting paid on those policies you sold all the way back to year one.
Correct. It's not all roses and butterflies. No. It's a lot of work. But instead of going to college, if you did this for 4 years, how farther along would you be?
Right. So, we talk about just on a minimum production, right? $400,000 to $500,000 a year. If you were to compound that over a 4 to 5 year period, key thing is in here, no debt when you're done, right? Every kid that you go to school, you're coming out of school with, I think the national average right now is $50,000 in debt. Right. With us, that 4th or 5th year, you're sitting on a $2.5 million book, generating by that time well over $100,000 a year. But no debt.
Zero debt, right. That's
and something that you can now call yours, where you're building that empire within the empire that we've built. Yeah.
The old way of thinking, and most parents want people to go to school. That's just the way. Go to school, get a degree, and do what? work for someone else.
Correct. That JOB we talked about, right? That just over broke.
Correct. So you can do that. And I don't begrudge anybody for going to school, but I say, join the insurance industry, join us,
right.
Get rich first, and then go back to school and do whatever you want and go play around.
Correct. Build a $5 to $8 million agency, that mega agency we talk about, and then if you want to go get your degree, go back and get it at that point.
No debt.
Correct.
Go to any school you want to, pay for it yourself, and still have $250,000 to $300,000 a year coming in.
Right.
Why would you do anything else, honestly?
Right. Well, what we find is that by the time people hit that, $8 to $10 million, they're like, why would I go back to school, right? They're on to the next business venture, doing
Correct.
something else, opposed to getting that degree to hang up on their wall.
So this is always a touchy subject, but you need lawyers and you need doctors, you need dentists, and
Right.
that's all great, and I'm glad we have them. In
Right.
fact, I was at the dentist this morning, as a matter of fact. So, the
So
difference.
please, for you, if you want to be out there, go to school to be that.
Yes,
right?
we
need you.
those. Right. However, what would be the difference of joining us as opposed to a doctor even? So if you're going to be a doctor, how much school do you have to go to?
I think right now it's 10 years. You got 4 undergrad, 4 doctor, and then 2 residency.
All right.
10 plus years.
10 plus years of school, how much debt?
At least 200,000.
Any doctors out there, tell me what it's going to be, right?
At least 200,000.
Okay, so you imagine 10 years with us with no debt. So what would a 10-year agent probably make with us if they followed our system?
I mean, 10 years, just going back to the basics of that minimum 500,000, right? That's a $5 million book. They're making $250,000 a year.
What?
Easily, minimum.
Right, with no debt, and people are working for you.
Correct.
So a lot of young people that come to me and talk to me and they say, I'm thinking about school or not going to school. Why would I do that? My friends are all going to school and they're partying and they're all having all this and they're going to come out with a degree. Am I going to be held back or slow? And what we always find is you're going to do this for 5 years. They're going to come out of college and work for you,
right.
Or drop out and work for you anyway, so you might as well get a head start.
Correct.
Again, it's the best kept secret industry ever because to most people, insurance is boring.
Right.
Insurance itself isn't boring, but what's good about insurance itself? Why would you want to join the insurance industry?
Well, I think it goes back to that residual income, right? That you sell a policy today, it pays you year over year, month over month, where you're not looking at yourself at the beginning of every year, looking to your boss for a 5% raise or a $2 raise. You're creating that future revenue from every single policy you sell on a day-to-day.
And for those of you that don't know, the product we sell is basically home and auto. There's others, but home and auto. What's unique about home and auto insurance?
Well, if you drive a car, state of Florida, you have to have insurance. You have a mortgage on your home, guess what? You have to have insurance. So we're selling a product that you have to have, and within our system and on the amount of carriers that we have an unfair advantage because we're selling a product that you have to have, and we have all the markets for you to place that business.
And then we teach you. You teach now. I used to teach. Yes. You teach now.
You taught me to teach.
Correct. How to become successful in this business faster than any other insurance agency around there. How long is that training if someone wanted to join us?
So, from the very beginning, onboarding, right, we have the 2-week boot camp, which is going to teach you how to go from start to finish, A to Z, within our quoting softwares and platforms. What's unique about that is, you don't have to know anything, right? It's something that we pride ourselves on, that I didn't even know how to spell insurance, don't know what an HO3 is or any of these product types. So during that 2-week period of time, we're going to show you how to take that client from start to finish. But beyond that, right, you can be the best quoter, and we talk about all the time. You can be the best typer, you can type over 100 words a minute, but if you don't have any clients to quote, you're dead in the water, right? And so the latter part of that, which is our $1 million producer training, which we'll talk about more in the future, really is going to set us apart from how to go out and grow that business. Who are we growing? Who are we going after? Who are we actually attacking? And really defining who our client is, right? Is it the end user, or is it other business owners that we can capture that relationship with to help us build our business?
Yes, that's the thing, especially a young person coming out of school that's scared to take the leap.
Right.
It's good to know that we will teach you from A to Z and how to build as fast as possible. Not many industries will do that.
Right.
They throw you to the wolves right away.
Correct. And for us at John Galt Insurance, you're going to be trained by people that have built agencies themselves, right?
That's our most important thing.
And you're not just from a professor that's teaching you a business class that's never owned a business, right? And so for us, coming into our John Galt Boot Camp or John Galt University, we're going to teach you firsthand how to, quote, how to bind, but more importantly, how to actually build your business to create that financial freedom.
Yeah, you just reminded me of another question. Who teaches $1 Million Producer Training?
This guy right here.
How big is your personal book of business combined?
So I am a multi-agency owner, and we're approaching $35 million.
$35 million agency. Also, president of the company. Those two things combined makes you a pretty skilled trainer, right?
Yes. I think what really makes me the most is learning it from you, and over I think the last 10 plus years, taking deep dives right into the material and making sure that we're staying ahead of the market, right? We're staying ahead of what's happening next. And for me, once again, being able to be taught, to be mentored by you side by side for the last 15 years has allowed me to be in a position to now teach that next generation of agents that come through from, once again, people that have been in your chair, that sat in that seat on the other side of the table, and we're like, what am I doing in this class? You know, is this going to be different from any other training that I've ever gone to? We talk about some of your past trainings.
Correct.
That they had to fly you out of state to teach you how to type on a keyboard, right?
Correct.
And so for me, I think that's what separates us even more, going back to, who teaches it and my credentials. It really is just a progression of mentorship from you to me now to that next generation.
And that's just $1 Million Producer Training. Now, what about when they get out on the floor, they go through training,
right.
Who is going to take them from there and train them from that? It's the same concept.
Same exact concept. And so now we've just, the key word that we look at is duplication, right? And so what we've done is essentially you've duplicated yourself to me, and now we've duplicated me to what we call our agent advocates, right?
So if someone's on the west coast of Florida,
yes,
they would be in Bonita's, Naples area.
Correct.
Who would mentor them?
Tyler Nagel, who is one of our top performing agents, he's been with us for 3 years. He just hit $4 million in less than 3 years.
And how old is Tyler?
26. He started with us 23.
Did he finish school?
No.
So 26 years old,
yes.
$4 million book. Training are people that come out of class plus an agency of his own.
Correct. So he's an extension of us here at corporate, right? So they come through the MDP program. They're taught all the tools to make them successful. And then, yes, to your point, they're shipped out to that other corporate location. We have Jerry here in corporate. We have Christian, who are all agency owners themselves. They've all been vetted. They've all gone through this. And the reason why they're in that position is because they followed the system that we've put together to create their own success in their agencies, and now they are tools to the agents that are going to be on the sales floor.
Right. And how old is Jerry?
Jerry's 30.
He's like the oldest now.
He's on the.
Did Jerry finish school?
He did not.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
What a theme here. And how big is his book of business?
They just hit $5 million.
Okay, another $5 million book of business. He's also a very good trainer as well. So when you're done with him, you kind of kick them off to Jerry if they're here.
Correct.
So he'll show them his success path compared with our success path to make it easier for success for people who don't know the industry.
Correct.
And Tyler, the same thing.
Exactly.
And Christian, the same thing in North Tampa. And of course, more as we expand across the state and the country.
Absolutely.